my name is Natalie. I make videos and do private sessions with people who want to reconnect to their heart, their body, their soul. And I do it also through working with sexual energy and meditation and breathing techniques. And I'm based in Israel. I'm Jewish. I don't know if you can tell. But I'm based in Israel. I'm from London originally, but I'm based in Israel. And I find, like, I see a lot of tantric healers around the world talking and doing amazing things. And I feel like I'm in such a closed religious society that anything I do that has to do with sexuality is a big no-no and a taboo. And I've been stamped a whore, basically. And I was thinking to myself, like, why am I even doing this? A lot of people like what I do and follow me and listen to my videos, but I don't feel like I have a legitimate place here in Israeli society when I talk about these subjects. And then I ask myself, like, why are you doing this? And the Kabbalah and different New Age energy theories, the main point is to do something in your life that brings value to yourself and to others by being in your authentic self. So you heal the vessel, you heal all the chakras, you open all your emotional blockages, and then you're in kind of unity, in a loving, unified state with God and the universe. And then you can use the tools you've been given to bring the most value you can to yourself and to others. And that's basically the journey that I've gone through. And my tools are speaking and explaining and talking about different topics, even hard topics, but in a very, like, cool, nonchalant way. And the value that I bring is by doing these videos in Hebrew about sex, I allow people, or I help people, I guide people to reconnect to themselves, their soul, their heart, and to realign themselves between the head, the heart, and the genitals. So the upper chakras, the spirituality, the knowledge, the intelligence, the heart, the love, unconditional love, and the genitals, the lower chakras, the body, the physical world, food, sex, money, all of those different denser energies. So I think the most important thing is to bring value to what we do. And I started talking about sex from a very feminist point of view. As far as I was concerned, women's pleasure was less important than men's pleasure. Most women didn't experience orgasms until recently. Female sexuality wasn't even explored. It wasn't researched. It wasn't like a topic until the last like 10 years. And I felt a really bad inequality between the importance of men's pleasure in front of the importance of female pleasure. And female pleasure has kind of been sidelined, and it doesn't really matter. Porn is for men. All the medicines for sexual function are for men. Everything is towards men's erection and horniness, and no one is talking about women. And then if you look at society as a whole, you can see still, although we're more equal than ever, women still have inequality in places of work and salaries and in politics and a lot of different places. We're still not equal to men. And the bed and sex was one of the places that was more, that stood out for me more, because at the end of the day, when we're intimate, man and woman together in a relationship, we're in bed naked, enjoying each other's body. How can we not be equal there? It seemed fucking insane to me. This is the first place we need to be equal. Once we're equal in bed, then the rest of, we'll be able to be equal in the rest of the areas of our life. But if in this most basic, most intimate place, we still don't have equality, that's a problem for me. I think that's where the problems begin. And women are more sexual than men. We're more connected to our sexuality, to our body. We can multi-orgasm without even that much effort. Whereas men are very limited in sex. They have the erection, they ejaculate, and they're done. We can go on for hours. We are more sexual, but we've been told that men are more sexual, that men's sexuality is more important, and that ours just isn't. And if you don't want to be a whore, or you don't want to be a slut, then don't talk about sex, don't think about sex, don't deal with sex, don't have that much sex. Just keep yourself, just be a nice, quiet lady who's a good girl. Now, the male erection is so important because if there wasn't a male erection, there would be no kids in the world. You can't conceive children without getting an erection and inserting your penis inside of her and actually ejaculating inside. So the male erection is basically the continuation of the human race. So we can understand why it's that important. That's why you have porn and Viagra and all these medicines. It's like billions of dollars of industries that are making sure the men stay horny. They have an erection. They can come. They're making sure of that. Women's sexuality, on the other hand, is not getting center stage. You know, if you're having sex with a woman and she's not wet, you can just put lube. It's not a big deal. Like, I feel like people don't get that both men and women have to have sexual energy in their body when they have sex. So if your woman ain't horny before you're having sex, it's going to damage her body physically and emotionally and energetically. The fact that the woman is passive and just has a hole that you can go into doesn't mean that she does not need to be aroused. She has to be aroused. She needs sexual energy in the body to have sex. So why isn't female arousal important to anyone? Why isn't anyone talking about it? Why aren't there medicines and researchers and porn just for women to make them horny? Why? You got Erica Lush, she's one of few who are doing porn for women. But like, why isn't it important? And then you hear men complaining they don't know why their women won't orgasm. They don't know how to bring her to orgasm. Like, it's something that he could do. It's half-half, guys. It's like 50% his responsibility, 50% hers. But there is no importance in our modern society for the female arousal, sexual arousal. And that was one of the main reasons I started talking about sex, just to bring it up to the surface. Like, hey, I'm a woman, I'm a normal woman, just a regular woman, and let's talk about sex, because I feel like I'm being left behind. I feel like I'm missing out on something that all the men know and I don't. And I want to know it too. I want to enjoy sex as much as they do. So I started talking about it, and I wrote it in a blog, and I wrote it in a national newspaper, and I had a corner on TV, and I had a radio show, and I was just like, blah, 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 sex, let's talk about it. Whilst going through my own healing, I started doing private sessions, and I do private sessions with women. I teach them how to orgasm and reconnect to their sexuality. But I also started working with men, because I understood that as much as women are disconnected from their sexuality, men are disconnected from their emotions. And if we want to meet in the middle, you know, that's the way we need to go. And I heal men emotionally. Like, I do emotional healing with them, and I help them find their emotional blockages so that they can feel more in the heart. And I teach women to start using their body and also open emotional blockages, but more like use the body so they can feel more during sex. So that's why I do what I do. I feel like women are still not equal to men in the bed, and it's our own personal responsibility to make sure that we get there. So at the end of the day, it's about balancing the masculine and the feminine energy, the active and the passive energy. Each human being as an individual should aspire, as far as I'm concerned, to find balance between the masculine and feminine. Masculine is very active energy, feminine is very passive energy. We want to balance them. We have both of these inside of us, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever. We all have masculine and feminine energy inside of us. In most of us, it's very imbalanced. So some of us are more active, more passive, whether it's during our life, at work, at home, or during sex. And we just want to find a way to balance the energies. And that's what I teach people. And I think it's one of my missions in this world. And I think it's so important. And I bless every other woman who's doing this on YouTube or wherever, who's also talking about sexuality and tantra and helping people rebalance themselves energetically. I think it's the most important thing we can do. I think it can end wars. I think it can change humanity for the better. And I think we should all be doing this, doing the work. So I love you guys very much, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.